Everyone, a very quick statement about capitalism versus socialism. Now, as soon as someone like me comes along and says, yay capitalism and nay socialism, the first reaction I get is, of course, piss off you greedy bastard. Now, I totally understand where people are coming from when they say that, and I'd like you to please challenge your own thinking and get a critical update. The update begins with knowing who your true enemy is. It's not capitalism, and it's not socialism as such, and the truth is we have both those dynamics in a modern Western economy. The public sector, which is now gigantic, is the socialist sector, and the capitalist sector, which is the private sector. The real enemy is not crony capitalism, it is cronyism, full stop. Crony capitalism is a filthy disease, no doubt about it, and incredibly destructive, but hey, guess what? At least as much, arguably even more, crony socialism, that is cronyism from the public service, is just as dangerous, and at least as destructive. We seem to think that the private sector, which is the socialist sector, is, hey, it's all ours, it's for the people, by the people. Absolute no. Bullshit. The public sector, as much as any other sector, is 100% made up of very private interests who operate with very private biases and try to jump into bed with government, cronyism that is, to twist everything in their favour. They do that to the extreme. Often they do it through unions as well. Cronyism is the disease. That is, the public or private sector trying to fiddle with government, manipulate government, corrupt government to bend the rules in their favour, not the social good. Capitalism is fantastic. Capitalism in itself, that is fantastic. Capitalism is the reason why you have more difficulty putting less food in your mouth, not more. For the great majority of us, at least. It generates huge productive efficiencies, which is absolutely fundamental to economic development and forcing us to redefine poverty. When it gets septic, and it most certainly can do, in the corporate sector, is when it starts to jump into bed with government, and again, I'm repeating myself, but it needs to be repeated, screws with government, screws with the regulators, like pharmaceutical companies and food companies often do, to basically shit on the people for personal advantage. And they can do that so successfully, lobby groups and whatnot. That is cronyism, that is the disease. Socialism is not the cure to that because, again, the exact same things on different levels but in different ways just as destructively happen in the public sector. If anything, it's worse, again, as I said before, because they're closer to government and have a more powerful influence over it and a better image in some ways. So they can screw the people over and manipulate the people more effectively. So know your enemy, people. It's not capitalism, it's not socialism as such, it's cronyism, corrupting of our government. Now we understand that, we then ask the next question. How do we control for cronyism? 3 ways to do it. First is to move in the direction of direct democracy, which gives the public the veto power over any policy with enough votes in a petition, to slam the brakes on any government policy. That's what I call, well, that can be done very efficiently now with the Politics app that I talk about. Through our phones, we can do that so efficiently. And it's the same system they have in Switzerland, which works brilliantly over there. I'm not talking about a freaky new idea, I'm talking about best practice, proven best practice. The other way is to modify your country's constitution to create powerful laws that control government and what government can do, like what America has. Upgrade your constitutional structures in a way which shows they understand that government is and always will be utterly corruptible. Create protections against that. And the other thing to do, which is also probably one of the most robust things you can do, is decentralize politics as much as possible. Virtually anything that could be governed locally should be governed locally in a small district. The only policies, the only politics national government should be dealing with are those which make clear sense for national government to deal with. Otherwise, piss off national government. It's a local issue. You don't even exist on this issue. That's how you do it. As one guy I respect once said, there are two types of government: bad government and small government. In other words, you only get robust government when it's very small and very under the people's control. And that is so true. Hence the need to decentralize political power as much as possible. And a final comment on those young people who like the idea of socialism. I totally salute you. If you like, on an attractive level, the idea of socialism, all it shows is that your humanity and your instinct is working right. Because the natural condition for the human animal is a village, is a tribe, where people watch out for each other rather than try to compete with each other and stomp on each other's faces to get ahead. I'm not going to go to that in detail, but where there is a place for socialism is very small scale, probably no greater than 1,000 or 2,000 persons on a localized level, which is basically like a small domestic economy, like a cruise ship. But that's where, if you're keen on socialism, that socialism really can work and does belong. Not on a large scale, though. Not on a national scale or on the scale of a large city. Because the human dynamic inherently breaks down. On those levels, you want capitalism with very, very strong protections against cronyism, so the power of competitive dynamics can work their magic and make it even harder for us to put less food in our mouths, so to speak. Okay, to conclude that little statement, again, what are we after? We're after a war against cronyism, full stop. Don't buy into this rubbish of crony capitalism, which falsely links cronyism to capitalism only. Just cronyism, because it's everywhere. Thank you.